96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Ministry of Health confirming 27 deaths for Grand Bahama over the last few months from COVID-19. Adrian Gibson under scrutiny over water and sewage contracts. The PLP releasing its new plan as the Prime Minister. So the PLP leader is a disgrace. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
Good morning, Dan Bahamas. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll talk with the newly formed United Coalition movement. They are formed out of a number of political parties that have come together for the election. We'll talk about what this all means with a few of their members this morning. Later in Morning Blend Business, we're getting an update from Arawak X about how their initial crowdfunding initiatives are going 1 week in. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from Ottawa and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Ministry of Health releasing the latest dashboard, reporting 108 new cases, including 80 new cases on Providence, 10 on Grand Bahama, 1 on Abaco, 4 in Eleuthera, 1 in Exuma, 3 on Andros, 1 on Long Island, 3 on Cat Island, 2 on Acklands, 2 on Crooked Island, and 1 in San Salvador. Again, 108 new COVID cases in the latest dashboard from August 27th. That dashboard also includes some startling numbers in terms of deaths. 27 deaths now, all on Grand Bahama. Some of these going back to April, the most recent on August 24th. The ministry reporting that this is coming from over a period of 5 months, from the 16th of April to the 24th of August. That during this period, 18 women and 7 men succumbed to COVID-19. The ministry says this means that 66.6% of these reported deaths were women and 33.3% were men. The ministry is reminding the public that vaccination is the greatest defense to minimize deaths and urging people to get vaccinated as soon as possible. For the first time since the start of the pandemic, more than 3,000 cases have been recorded in a single month here in the Bahamas, with 3,111 cases and 63 COVID deaths confirmed between August 1st and August 27th, not including the numbers we just gave you. The country is in the worst place it's been with the virus, and with several days counts still outstanding, August has already far surpassed October 2020, which, with 2,611 cases recorded, had previously been the month with the most cases. Another news, a company whose director has the same name as a woman Water and Sewage Corporation Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson, identified as his fiancée, has been awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in contracts by the corporation. That's according to documents leaked to the media. Documents show that Elite Maintenance Incorporated Limited was awarded 2 contracts from the corporation. The first contract was dated September 1st, 2018. In a memorandum of understanding, Alexandria Mackey of Elite Maintenance is listed as the contractor. Elite was awarded a $4,700 per month contract for yard cleaning and grounds maintenance services for 13 Water and Sewage Corporation pumping stations on New Providence. Someone named A. Mackey signed the contract on October 17th, 2018, next to the title contractor. The expiration date for the MOU is August 31st, 2021. The MOU was authorized by General Manager Elwood Donaldson, who signed on October 16, 2018. The second contract awarded to Elite Maintenance was on June 23, 2020. The leaked documents show that Elite and 2 other companies were each awarded contracts of $263,200 for the refurbishment of the Blue Hill low-level tank number 1. Gibson issued a statement about this. He says that he's denying that it has any beneficial interest or any other interest in Elite Maintenance. But Gibson did not say whether Alexandria Mackey, who was listed as the director and who signed as contractor, is the same Alexandria Mackey who's listed as his fiancée in the 2020 police report. The police report was also circulated with the Water and Sewage Corporation documents. Gibson, in his statement, referred to Mackey only as the attorney. You can read more about what he's saying in today's Nassau Guardian. The PLP has released Our Blueprint for Change, which encompasses its 2019 action plan and promises economic reforms, including a reduction in value-added tax to 10%, the party outlining a 10-point plan making broad commitments to rescue the economy and empower Bahamians. PLP is also pledging to make massive investments in infrastructure and energy. The PLP pledging the development of a cannabis industry, a commitment to providing affordable health care through national health insurance, and the establishment of local government in New Providence. Meanwhile, seeking to make a case for why he and the F&M should be re-elected, Prime Minister Minnis turning his political guns directly at PLP leader Philip Davis, telling voters they cannot trust Davis and the PLP. Minnis speaking at a driving rally on the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center grounds, saying, quote, "If he gets back in office, you don't have to guess how he will govern. Just look at the track record of the other PLP governments." Using the familiar corruption theme that helped sail the F&M to victory in 2017, Minnis told voters, quote, "Just look at all the scandals they got into. Just look at how the PLP always takes your money to enrich the PLP." And the government has released its first pre-election economic and fiscal update report, as required by the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Minister of State for Finance, Kwesi Thompson, noting in a statement that last fiscal year, 2020-2021, government revenues trended higher than were estimated, while the budgeted deficit target was overshot by 1.6%. Overseas, Hurricane Ida knocking out power to all of New Orleans and inundating coastal Louisiana community. Deadly path through the Gulf Coast that was still unfolding this morning, promising more destruction. The heavy rain and storm surge has already had a catastrophic impact along the southeast coast of Louisiana, and life-threatening floods along rivers continuing well inland as torrential rain kept falling forecast to dump as much as 2 feet in places as Ida's center moved over Mississippi. Ida made landfall on the same day 16 years ago that Hurricane Katrina ravaged Louisiana and Mississippi, and its 150-mile-per-hour winds tied it for the 5th strongest hurricane to ever hit the mainland. It was already blamed for one death, someone hit by a falling tree outside of Baton Rouge. Deputies confirming this now in the Ascension Parish office. The power outage in New Orleans, meanwhile, heightened the city's vulnerability to flooding and left hundreds of thousands without air conditioning and refrigeration in sweltering summer heat. The 911 system in Orleans Parish also experienced technical difficulties early today. Anyone needing emergency assistance was urged to go to their nearest fire station or approach their nearest officer. Ida finally became a tropical storm again 16 hours after making landfall in Louisiana as a Category 4 hurricane. And from Afghanistan, rocket fire apparently targeting Kabul's international airport struck a nearby neighborhood today, the eve of the deadline for American troops to withdraw from the country's longest war after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan. It wasn't immediately clear if anyone was hurt. The rockets did not halt the steady stream of U.S. military seizing cargo jets taking off and landing at the airport in the Afghan capital. No group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack. Last week, the Islamic State group launched a devastating suicide bombing at one of the airport gates that killed at least 169 Afghans and 13 U.S. service members. The airport repeatedly has been a scene of chaos in the 2 weeks since the Taliban blitz across Afghanistan that took control of the country, nearly 20 years after the initial U.S. invasion that followed the September 11th terrorist attacks. But since the suicide bombing, the Taliban have tightened their security cordon around the airfield, with their fighters seen just up to the last fencing separating them from the runway. In sports, junket of music and colorful costumes getting the Big Three basketball playoffs underway, and the action lived up to its hype as the event debuted here in the Bahamas. The playoff games were played on a court that rivaled other Big Three courts, and the three-headed monsters and Trilogy came away victorious on Saturday inside the Imperial Arena at Atlantis on Paradise Island. The games were broadcast live on CBS. In the first game, the three-headed monsters, that's the actual name of the team, took down the defending champions, the Triplets, 51-39, punching their ticket to the championship game. In the second game, Trilogy got the best of Tri-State, 50-42, punching their ticket to the championship. And that championship game and consolation game, will also be held at the Atlantis Resort. That's set for Saturday, September 4th. The championship game will get underway at 3:30 p.m. This is the first time that 3-on-3 Big Three tournament has ventured beyond the United States. Locals and tourists enjoying the stiff competition are former NBA players and other professional players. You can read more all about it in today's Guardian Sports section. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time now for your first look at weather. In your first look at weather for today, we've got a weak pressure gradient along with Saharan dust. It's going to dominate the weather across the Bahamas through the middle of the week. The public is being advised again to remain hydrated and limit prolonged outdoor activities due to triple heat indices expected today. And mariners should be alert for possible thundercloud activity. For all areas, your forecast calls for partly to mostly sunny, hot, humid, and hazy conditions with isolated showers and a possible thunderstorm, turning fair and warm at night with a passing shower. Gusty winds and higher seas are expected in showers and thunderstorms. Winds light and variable occasionally out of the east at less than 10 knots, seas 1 to 3 feet. High temperatures today getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but that heat index will be up to 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Technology serves to make us better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Growing up over the hill, Dr. Menace learned the importance of education. That's why the FNM is delivering on its commitment to expand education access, improve academic opportunities, and push to make the University of the Bahamas tuition-free. And it's why the FNM is repairing and building schools in every corner of the Bahamas, paving the way to a brighter future. The FNM is making a difference for the next generation of Bahamians. September 16th, vote FNM, because it's about your future.
This has been a paid political announcement from the Free National Movement.
The PLP is hosting an economic summit where financial experts and business leaders share ideas and plans for transforming the Bahamian economy. Speakers will discuss the PLP's economic plan, a new blueprint to create a Bahamian economy that works for everyone. Discussions include opportunities in high-tech, renewable energy, and training for entrepreneurs. Go to plpeconomicsummit.com and learn how you can be part of a new Bahamian economy.
This has been a paid political announcement by the PLP.
It's summertime. The temperature is rising, the beach is calling, and the bills are piling up. You need relief. Let BOB make your summer as sweet as Eleuthero's finest pineapples with the lowest consumer loan rates in the country. Consolidate debt to reduce your monthly payments, secure funds for school fees and home repairs, or save big by switching to a mortgage. Sweet relief is here. Apply today at BOB, your bank of solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Pamela Musgrove will be joining us. And we told you how you can join the conversation. We'll give you the phone numbers to call in just a bit. We have a lot to get to this morning. Coming up a little bit later, we're going to be talking with members of the new United Coalition movement. They've been formed out of several political parties that have come together for this election, and we'll see if that's going to be a long-term alliance, and find out more about what they intend to do come election day. And then later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking with Arawak X. They're going to give us an update. It's been a week now since they launched their initial crowdfunding initiatives, and we'll find out from them how that's going and what you need to know if you're still interested in investing in these companies. That's coming up. A lot to get to this morning. Let's begin with what's in the news. There's a lot to talk about, a lot of politics to talk about as the election is drawing very close, but we'll get to that in a bit. We're going to get to that. Overnight, just after midnight, the Ministry of Health releasing the dashboard, the latest COVID dashboard for August 28th. Today's the 30th, but that was for August 28th. And the numbers are high, and we're going to get into the numbers for the number of new cases, but also the most shocking thing is the number of deaths, and they're confirming some deaths going back a few months, and some of the most recent ones up to the 24th. 27 COVID-19 related deaths on Grand Bahama. 27. It's hard to say it, but the Ministry of Health saying this from the 16th of April to the 24th of August. That's the period this is covering. And 18 women and 7 men. 66.6% women and 33.3% men. I'm going to go through each one of these. A 76-year-old woman from Grand Bahama, all from Grand Bahama, everybody. 76-year-old woman from Grand Bahama on the 16th of April. A 58-year-old woman on the 23rd. A 69-year-old woman from Grand Bahama on the 27th. A 47-year-old man on the 29th of May. A 39-year-old man on the 21st of June. A 52-year-old woman on the 20th of July. A 55-year-old woman on the getting muted there. I don't know what's happening. Did you hear anything I said? Anyway, a lot of people. It's a lot. It's a lot. Okay, I'm just getting depressed just reading all of this. This is not good. All right, and again, this is in addition to the 108 new cases. 108 new cases. New Providence, 80. Grand Bahama, 10. Abaco, 1. Eleuthera, 4. Exuma, 1. Andros, 3. Long Island, 1. Cat Island, 3. Acklands, 2. Crooked Island, 2. San Salvador, 1. Again, 108 new cases. Pamela Musgrove is joining us. Pam, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
Just so disturbing to hear all of this.
It is, Dwight. It's real. It's one thing to have COVID, but when we are seeing that people are actually dying from this disease, it's really troublesome. And I think we also have to talk about the condition of those that are in hospital who are moderately ill, and people are dying. And I found out from a doctor friend that a lot of those persons, either they have not necessarily just that they have diabetes, but they're diabetic, they were out of control, or they're hypertensive. So these are issues that we are having in this country, health issues that we are having in this country. And I think we have to begin to tackle that.
But we've been talking about that for decades. But Pam, but these people don't care. They will eat whatever they want to eat and drink as much as they want to drink and exercise as little as they want to. And this is why this country, more than many others, have been seeing COVID like this, because the population was not healthy. Yes, the tons of us who are working out every day and doing it, but even that anything. But tons of people who are living like this, and they are ignoring. The doctors come on this show and many others every week and talk about these illnesses, and people ignore. There's silence. They don't come in for the checkups. They don't take advantage of the insurance that allows them to get these free checkups. And this is why we're seeing this like this, because people just talk here.
No, okay, I'm going to disagree with you just slightly, right? I think it's culturally. The way we eat, the way we carry on is culturally. And so to change that, it's going to be, you're going to take aggressive actions. We have to be patient, but we have to consistently put the message out there. Like, for instance, in the UK, I want you to know, right? As much as we talk about the death, officially, we don't talk about the condition of persons. I don't know if we don't do it. People talk about it on the side, but we don't talk about it from a public perspective. You have maybe some doctors, when they come on, they will talk about it, but not necessarily a national campaign. In the UK, right, they've already said that one of the main reasons for a lot of death was obesity and some of these same comorbidities. And they've already putting a plan together to incentivize persons. Like, for instance, if you go to and this is just one of the items on the list, but if you go to the food store and you buy, there's certain stuff that are categorized as healthy food items, you get a voucher or a coupon for something. And I think this charge came out of the fact that the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he was overweight, and that's why he had to be admitted to the ICU. So I think there are challenges, but if we need a national effort, we need a coordinated effort in order to help people, because, Dwight, a lot of people don't know any better. I know we always like to think that, and that's our problem. I see bigger countries, when they have a problem, they tackle it. They go after it and they tackle it. With us, we argue about, you should know better, but a lot of people don't. I still hear people I still go to the food store and see people pick up margarine. And we were told a long time ago that margarine, that imitation type butter, isn't good for you. Butter can has some harm, but they said you use it in moderation. It's better to use a quality butter as opposed to using margarine. A lot of people just don't know that, Dwight. We cannot assume that because we do something or we became aware of something that everybody else does. Yes, there are some people who don't care, and that's on them. If they don't care and they come up with a disease and that's the way they wanted to live it. But I think we need to have more campaigns coordinated to help people, because a lot of people just don't know, or just it's difficult for them to get it right in order to have a healthier lifestyle.
Yes, children. But I hear you. Sure. Well, okay. We'll do this, and people will rush to buy the deep fried stuff right after.
Yeah, they probably would, but I think there are a lot of persons. You look at your journey, look at my journey. There are a lot of things that I used to do that I don't do anymore, and that's just because education. A lot of times when I listen to Guardian, and I hear people talk about health issues, I read about health issues, and I try to make gradual changes. It won't come overnight, because if you're so used to doing something one day, but you can make gradual changes, particularly if you know your life depends on it. So I just think we just need national campaigns. I think we spend so much time, going at people for what we perceive they should know, when they just should educate. That's what it's about.
Definitely, you can't stop doing that. I just say 1.5 years of, I never knew that word, comorbidity, before, but that is
exactly
the most common word in the world now. And yet, 1.5 years later, I don't know. I see some people changing. Some people have made some major shifts, but a lot of people.
Yeah, we in the midst of this, and we have all the problems that we are having, but do we hear people like is there anywhere in this country you can go to, maybe a pharmacy or someplace, to just know your pressure status or know your diabetic status?
Yeah, man.
That you can just walk in and get it done free.
I could name a couple places. There are places where you can go and get.
I don't know of any. Tell me.
Yeah. Well, almost every clinic is going to be able to do that for you. But I mean, there's a pharmacy. I don't want to give them an ad, but there's a pharmacy where there's a machine right there. And it won't take much out of, most of these people in the country are still decent and will measure your pressure, especially if you tell them you've got an issue. I think something's wrong. It's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know of any.
Yeah?
I normally get,
I'll message you the name of one place.
Yeah, okay.
They have a machine right there. Or they did the last time I was there. And it's been there for years.
Okay.
But that's not hard. And like I said, most people, I don't think most of the clinics around here are going to give you a hard time. You feel something's wrong. Can you check my pressure, please? And they'll say, yeah, come.
But what if you don't feel something is wrong because they said killer?
Yeah, that's right.
See, when you feel something wrong, it's probably almost too late.
That is very true.
But I mean, just
I hope people hear that. If you don't know that, you heard what Pam just said. Keep that in mind as well. And that's why you need to get your annual checkups. Talk to your doctor. Definitely.
Yeah, but it is troubling. It is troubling that the number of persons are dying because of these. A lot of times these comorbidities, and they got COVID, and so it's bad.
That's extremely disturbing, right? But you know what else is? What also is the problem here?
Mm-hmm.
What we saw on Friday, nomination day.
Oh yeah.
And maybe you were sent the videos, or maybe you saw with your own eyes, or maybe you were a part of it. But people were acting as if this were 1999, it became 2000, and carrying on in ways that we haven't seen people behave in so long. I'm personally disturbed. I know I was stuck in traffic behind a motorcade where there were mainly young people, and they were not wearing their masks. I took a picture. I think there's one person with a mask, but everybody else had their mask under their chin, and they were in the back of the truck. I didn't think you could get that many people in the back of a truck, but anyway, but they were all dancing there on top of each other, and they looked young, they looked healthy, and they maybe don't even have comorbidities, but when they go home to Grammy or Mummy and everybody else,
that's for sure.
I'm terrified about what we're going to be talking about in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's for sure why it's spreading. Yeah. It is spreading because persons I don't know whether it's intentionally or accidentally, they just let their guards down. Mm-hmm. That's what people are doing.
Honestly, Pam, when I saw it, a couple of my thoughts were, this is intentional.
Yeah.
This is intentional because we thought it was going to be voter apathy that was going to cause the numbers to be suppressed on voting day. Everybody's been talking about that for a while, but more than likely it's going to be so many people are going to be sick.
Well, if they're not in the hospital, my guess is, if they're not in the hospital and they want to vote, they're going to be out there. That's my guess.
Well, you stand in line and hear that person coughing in the back of you. What are you going to do?
See, don't do that, right? Because, sometimes I cough because my throat is just ticklish. There's nothing wrong with me.
Okay. Well, I hope you
that,
can
Dwight.
some the question. Were you at a rally recently, ma'am? Were you on a motorcade?
These are some interesting times. You're afraid to cough.
Better hold that one in. Oh boy. Anyway, I'm not the only one who's concerned about this. The CPSA is decrying irresponsible actions on nomination day. Our Jasper Ward writing about this in today's National Guardian. Consultant Physician Staff Association President Dr. Sabrika Pinder-Butler says some politicians and their supporters were being, quote, absolutely irresponsible on Friday as they ignored social distancing protocols amid the Bahamas' worst surge in COVID-19 cases. Hundreds of political supporters showed up at nomination sites across the country to support candidates ahead of the September 16th general election. While some wore masks, some did not, or wore their masks improperly. Many rode together on the backs of trucks. Some danced together in the streets and outside nomination centers. When called for comment, Dr. Butler said, quote, it's absolutely irresponsible for us to even have events and not ensure that persons are wearing their masks, not ensure that social distancing is taking place. It's absolutely irresponsible. As Bahamians, we have to police ourselves. Yes, policing can happen from other levels, but we've known that this has been going on for a while. Why are we behaving irresponsibly? Because at the end of the day, we know that persons can have no symptoms of COVID and be infectious. We know that we're at a peak of COVID in the country. Every day, people are talking about the calls that they're receiving, about people being hospitalized and people losing their lives. And so to imagine that, knowing it already and seeing it and hearing it, and we still have people that are showing up at these events, not wearing masks, not social distancing, I think that is really sad and it's irresponsible. My goodness. And it just Friday, it was Saturday as well. I saw there were more motorcades and it just seems like
throughout this administration, we have seen that type of actions. You are vehemently against the Labor Day motorcade.
My goodness.
And at that time, I don't even think we realized the situation may have been grim, but we didn't realize it was back then as it is now. So back then it may have been bad, we just didn't realize it. But now it's bad. Mm-hmm. But yet, it's okay to have a motorcade for nomination day. Yet it's okay to have a motorcade rally, right? So it's really unfortunate, Dwight. I'm laughing not because I think this is all funny, but I don't know. I think we're in such a state. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, it's like, and you watch all of this unfold, and then you wonder if these people are in an alternate reality. Like, are you here? Like,
somebody pointed out, it was Stephen Hanna. Stephen, I don't know if he said it on air, but said it to me off air. But the number of people, you notice there were rival groups coming together. They had dance-offs in the street, but there were cars with their flags all over. We had more people putting up political flags than we did for the Bahamian flag on independence. Right? It's easier for people to put up the flag of the party they support than to put up a Bahamian flag on Independence Day.
Well, because I think for some people, party comes before country.
Oh,
so
my. Wow.
It's party.
Well, they proved it.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about the Bahamas, but F&M, PLP, or whomever, all the way, right? And that says a lot.
I think we're seeing that with our politicians in recent years. Mm-hmm. The focus is like they would say anything to you to get in. And then when they get in there, they just, in a shameless way, not do what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I mean, maybe other people get that, but I just don't get that. Is they would tell you all of these things. And if they would implement these things, it's good for democracy, it's good for our country, and it can move it forward. But they tell you these things, and so guess what? I don't believe any of them.
Yeah, it's sad. But that just gave me an idea. Next year, let's do this, Pam, as an independence motorcade. Let's do it. Let's see how people will join us on that motorcade.
See, I don't care too much for motorcades, right? That's it. So
I mean, who, I don't either. But hey, I mean, if people could do it for a political party, we could at least do it for our country, right? Anyway,
I may stand on the sidelines. And
hey, that's good.
In my car.
And with your flag.
Lot, I just wave
and
at
honk
you.
your horn. Honk your horn if you love the Bahamas. That's right. Okay. It's more exciting than what we normally do for independence around here.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, let's take this call, and you can call in as well. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us. We'll get to your text messages in just a bit. Again, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Are you still there? Did we lose you? Oh, I think we lost the call. Yeah? Call us back. Okay. Let's get you text messages. Someone says here, Pam, do we really need a health rally to get an individual to take care of themselves? While we're at it, let's just blame the government for people not taking better care of their health. Well, I don't think...
No, I don't blame the government. I don't blame the government. I just think that we assume basic things that people know that they just don't know, Dwight. We assume that... Let me give you a personal example. I grew up in my household eating with a spoon. I eat with a spoon. You eat rice, you eat grits, you had a spoon. And that's what we did. It wasn't until I was probably in my early teens that we went to a banquet and I noticed the table setting. And I saw that person's, spoon is usually for soups. And a fork is to eat your dinner. And so I had to comply with that. And then when I went back home, I said to my mom, I said, no, we have to eat with a fork because that is what you do. You eat with fork, and spoons are normally for certain stuff. You see? So my thing is, I didn't know that. And if I'd gone somewhere and pick up my spoon, someone might have looked at me and said, well, what's she doing, this big girl eating with a spoon? You don't do that. That's not appropriate. But I had to learn that by seeing that. We would be surprised how many things that the average person does not know. It takes an education.
Yeah. See, that's what I was saying to you earlier, though, Pam. See, that's
one final thing.
Young people.
And that is what developed countries do. They educate their people on certain things. Only us in this little small Bahamas who want to turn up our nose at people because they don't do what we think that they should do, and we don't spend the time to educate the masses on what it is that they are supposed to do. Only us, backward countries.
Yeah.
But future countries and developed countries, they tell you, and they don't force you, but they tell you, and once you hear that over and over, you begin to see and understand. Not everybody will catch it, but enough people will.
Yeah, I hear you, and I said it earlier. I think you'll find that with young people, youngsters and teens. I think that is, but we've got a case here. We've got people here who will experience what you experienced. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to do this because I like it. I like it better. And the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, and that's just the way I do it. Our bigger problem here.
Do a poll on how many people still eat with spoon, and they'll tell you. A lot of people will tell you, because I know people
I'm sure.
who say, I want to eat my spoon, and that's okay.
You can hold a lot more in a spoon.
Yeah, you could reach some people, though. I'm just using that as an example, but I'm saying that with anything else. You can reach some people who will change because they heard it's supposed to be done this way. And then we just have to be patient and just do we're not good at that. That's why we've always failed at the referenda that we have. Yeah. Another thing, we like to throw things on people, but we do not like to educate people on what it is that we want them to do. And then when we come at them aggressively to take it our way because we say it.
Yeah. And you do have to be consistent. You can't do it one time and think that's going to be enough. Apparently, that is definitely how it works here. All right, let's take some more calls. Good morning, caller on the air.
Good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Prime Minister to be blamed for these super spreaders and all this stuff that's going on. I'm sure you remember. Party on. Let's party on. Y'all have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said that for the vaccinated people, though. But he was incorrect about that. That was a terrible thing, and we did chastise him for that at the time. But that was supposed to be for vaccinated people who can still spread it. So that was, I don't know if that's what we're seeing. I don't know if those are exactly the people who are partying. I'm sure some of them are, but let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Okay, call us back. More of your messages here. This is a lot. Okay. This one says here, until anyone comes up with a solution other than lockdown, we don't wish to hear from them. It only brings it under control until we come out again. Then a different variant and it starts again. If people wish to eat how they wish, should I lock down to save them from their grease? Never.
See, my only thing about eat how you wish is that I imagine after this election, whichever party is voted in, we're going to go full-fledged ahead with national health insurance, right? Mm-hmm. And that is, you're taking monies out of everybody's salaries in order to make it available for persons that at the point of service, you don't have to pay anything at that point, right? And so I think we really need aggressive campaigns about healthy lifestyles, because if people are dying just because they don't know any better or they are just being irresponsible, that's going to be a financial weight around our neck. And if we think we only get $10 billion in debt, we definitely will go higher. So to bring in national health insurance with a broken healthcare system and a lot of persons who have these comorbidities that are just it's not a good combination. Yeah. I think some things need to be done, and that's the problem.
Oh boy.
When you say I could live however I want, yet to a certain extent, but when other people have to contribute to paying for that, then I think that becomes an issue.
This text here, I was shocked to learn this past weekend that a local food franchise in New Providence is not testing and quarantining staff after a coworker has tested positive for COVID. This, I believe, is also contributing to the rise in cases. Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning
Hi.
to you, Dwight. Good morning to you, Pamela. And good morning to Dwight of Bahamas. Dwight,
good morning.
I'm beginning to get more scared than I've ever been. Not just from COVID, but from actually our fiscal condition and lack of way forward. I am quite aware that the Prime Minister said it's about your future, referring to my future, when he's actually referring to it's actually about his future. I think Bahamians want to know it's about the future. Now, the reason is because we are yet to see, after almost 18 months, an actual strategy to deal with the crisis that we are in, coming from someone that is actually sitting in the seat, driving the vehicle at this particular time. And he's spending more of his time focusing, telling us that the person who may sit in the seat is going to be worse than he is. And so, but essentially, he would then have to concede. At one point, he's saying that Mr. Davis will not make it to Parliament, so then he won't be the Prime Minister. At the same time, he's basing his entire argument on Mr. Davis. And so that's the conflict within itself. And so it basically tells us that, a double-minded animal is, let's go back to a point. Transparency, accountability, integrity, anti-corruption, freedom of information among the minor things that we've been promised over the last 5 years. We have yet to receive any of those. I mean, I won't even mention term limits, finance reform, land reform, tax reform, fixed date, focus on the poor, any of those different things. But the reason I'm concerned is that even to date, we have not gotten the economic recovery report, by which can be a benchmark for which anyone says that is going to be used as a blueprint for the future. We have a failed education system in spite of them advertising it's been a success. It doesn't address the new skill set, soft skills, hard skills that is needed for the 21st century. We haven't addressed Grand Bahama, Abaco, or the Green Island. I mean, technically the Green Island was successful because I understand it's covered with grass. So if that's what he means. But he did reference in the economic recovery report what you said. He said he referenced the digital economy, conceptual economy, knowledge economy, green economy, blue economy, orange economy. We have yet to see any of these brought in, tell us what we're going to do now, what we're going to do next. And so I think it's time for Dr. Minnis to actually explain to us the future that he refers to, because it cannot be found in his rhetoric each time he mounts the stage or stands in front of the cameras. And I think we as Bahamians ourselves, and perhaps you may understand this, is that, and Dwight, you said this, we don't get what they promise. And that's because we don't hold them accountable for what they said.
I agree.
We can begin this on day one. We can begin by reading the Blueprint for Change and anything else that's submitted by any other party, and hold each one individually and collectively responsible, because those MPs that run on that ticket actually are also endorsing that as their plan and moving forward. And so if we begin on day one with individual responsibility, accountability for every MP, and collective responsibility for the party, we can get the Bahamas we want. We can address the education deficits. We can address the employment deficit. We can address the health deficit. We can address the housing deficit, the food crisis, the job insecurity. There are so much things that our country is facing, but we are not hearing answers, more so from the person in the actual seat who is asking us to give him another 5-year mandate after, from basically, if you was to grade the last 4 years, with removing the excuses of Dorian, because that's Grand Bahama and Abaco, we have not seen any response to that at all. We've removed the excuse just excuses.
Yeah, there's always it just doesn't stop where they have not done all the things.
Yeah, I'm just simply saying
successive.
We do need an economic and leadership reset, and if the FNM doesn't remove Dr. Minnis, then we should remove the FNM.
All right. Getting us into the politics a little earlier than we wanted to. I just want to read some more of these messages before we get into it. There's a lot of politics to talk about, but some interesting responses to what we've been saying so far, Pam, about all of this with COVID. Mm-hmm. I realize that most of the young potential voters are not registered. They're just preparing for the upcoming carnival parades. Is that what that was? Okay. This one says here, the politicians who are pushing the vaccines are the ones violating the protocol orders during the silly season and complaining about the vaccine hesitancy. This is going to be scary over the next 2 weeks if these COVID-19 numbers increase. So I'm pretty sure they will. I hear your guest about things that need to be done, but what a lot of people don't understand is that we live in a capitalist system. You all want communist benefits. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
That's not no. That's a service that government provides its people.
Mm-hmm. This one says here, let us also keep in mind that not everyone can afford health insurance. When you pay out of pocket like I did last week, that's at least $5 plus.
And I think that is why, like, I agree with some form of national health insurance to help persons, because health insurance is very expensive, right? I mean, there are some persons, and the older you get, when you need it more, the rates will go up. I agree with that. I'm just saying that when we start to move ahead with this, there needs to be serious reform in the healthcare system. Serious, because we will just be taking money and throwing into a bad situation, and we will be making our fiscal position worse off.
This
It
person
can't
says,
work.
yeah. This person says the cost of gyms here is unaffordable. Gyms in the USA are as low as $10 per month, but on average, gyms are $200 in the Bahamas, or definitely 100 and something. Yeah. The high cost of the light bill causes this. The government affects this. Well, okay.
Just go walking. Just go walking.
Right, you don't
Find a
have to go
safe
to the
place.
gym.
Yeah. And all you need is half an hour walk, 3-4 times a day in a safe. Just get a safe place, like the parks when it's crowded, the beaches and stuff like that.
Lift those 5-gallon water bottles that we have to buy all the time here because we don't feel comfortable about drinking our own water.
Yeah, just
do
you
all
can't
those
afford
things.
the gym. Yeah, so nice little brisk walking.
This one says here, Pamela, you are right about others believing that everybody should know better when it comes to eating habits. People usually eat what tastes good to them. Even people who can afford to eat healthy don't really give a heck. So, struggling people are just trying to put food in their stomachs. Dwight, stop brushing Pamela off on this. She's right. Okay. All right. I'm sure there are some people, right? But there are a lot of people who do know better. And just like, as you said, it's all about the taste. I don't care. I need this. I'm stressed. I need comfort food. I'll start exercising January 1st or 2nd. We hear that all the time. Just give this to me now. This is a lot. I lost a lot of friends. I haven't worked in months. All the excuses. I got a birthday coming up, right? And then next year, something else stressful happens and you have to push that start date off again. Yeah. And you end up hundreds of pounds heavier by the time it's all over.
Yeah, I think I've been to every gym. There was a time I used to go to gym 4:30 in the morning, that. And I stopped all of that. I just walk. Now I just go for walks. And it's much better.
Yeah.
It's much better.
All right, we're going to leave that there. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going on in politics and politics adjacent to the big headline in the Nassau Guardian. This is a big story, and I'm sure we're going to hear more about this over the next few days. Gibson under water and sewage contracts. Gibson goes on the defensive, fails to say, though, whether his fiancée is a person who's awarded these contracts. We're going to read a little bit about this, and we're going to get into what the politicians are saying over the weekend as well. So, our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about this in today's Nassau Guardian. A company whose director has the same name as a woman, Water and Sewage Corporation Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson, identified as his fiancée, was awarded hundreds of thousands of dollars in contracts by the corporation. That's according to documents leaked to the media. The documents show that Elite Maintenance Incorporated Limited was awarded 2 contracts from WSC. The first contract was dated September 1st, 2018. In an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, Alexandria Mackey of Elite Maintenance is listed as the contractor. Elite was awarded a $4,700 per month contract for yard cleaning and grounds maintenance services for 13 WSC pumping stations on New Providence. A. Mackey signed the contract on October 17, 2018, next to the title contractor. The expiration date of the MOU is August 13, 2021. The MOU was authorized by WSC General Manager Elwood Donaldson, who signed on October 16, 2018. The second contract awarded to Elite Maintenance was June 23, 2020. Leaked documents show that Elite and 2 other companies were each awarded contracts of $263,200 for the refurbishment of Blue Hill Low-Level Tank Number 1. Tanya Demerit signed on behalf of Elite on that document. Those documents were also signed by Donaldson. In a statement last night, Gibson denied that he has any beneficial interest or any other interest in Elite Maintenance Incorporated Limited. But Gibson did not say whether Alexandria Mackey, who is listed as a director of Elite Maintenance Incorporated Limited, and who signed as contractor, is the same Alexandria Mackey who he listed as his fiancée in a 2020 police report. The police report was also circulated with the Water and Sewage Corporation documents. In the police report, the authenticity of which he acknowledged in his statement last night, Gibson said that he opened a joint Royal Bank of Canada account in 2014 with his fiancée, Alexandria Mackey. In a separate statement issued by Donaldson to the media, it said, quote, a Miss Alexandria Mackey, The attorney acted as legal agent for Elite Maintenance. Gibson in a statement referred to Mackey only as the attorney. And he said the Water and Sewage Corporation awarded a contract to a company whose owners engaged the attorney in question to provide corporate services and, pursuant to Bahamian law, to act as subscribers or nominee shareholders to form the company as is legally required. Okay, so there's a whole lot of stuff here about this. Now, Gibson spoke about this, saying that the leaked, falsified, and misidentified documents and misinformation disseminated on social media are attacking me and private citizens. He said, quote, "It is disgusting that politics has sunken to this level." Well, okay, it's been there for a little bit now. Anyway, however, I am undeterred in my pursuit of a second term of service to my constituents so that I can continue to advocate on their behalf. On the sidelines of the F&M's drive-in rally on Saturday, Prime Minister Minnis did not offer any response when asked about the controversy. In his response to the allegations, Donaldson said, quote, "The information in the public domain is being completely misrepresented and is laden with falsehoods and absolute lies. At no time has the corporation issued no-bid contracts for contractors to undertake painting of works. That is simply false. At least 3 bids are or were submitted in all instances. All bids were reviewed, and executive management made a recommendation to the board of directors. In the instance of 3 contracts for painting, repair, and upgrading of our water tanks, it was recommended that the contracts be split between the 3 lowest bidders. The bids received by the corporation ranged in excess of $1 million per tank on down. The board agreed, and the contracts were issued. All works have been completed and met the standards of the corporation, with works having been signed off by our engineering and planning department." Okay.
These politicians like memorandums of understanding.
It's their favorite thing to do.
Like memorandums of understanding. You know, I said this earlier on. One of the first item on the Minnis administration's legislative agenda should have been the anti-corruption bill and passed in the House of Assembly. That was one of the first things. They campaigned on corruption. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the members of parliament on the F&M side were new to parliament. And it would have been good to set the standard up front. This is the legislation that will be governing all of us. Anybody fall foul of it, you're on your own. But that wasn't done. Mm-hmm. And so what I get from these politicians is, I have a problem when you do it. I'm going to talk about it when you do it. But when I do it, it's something totally different. There's no way that because he's the member of parliament, people that are related to him should be awarded contracts. And Dwight, in this system of governance, all of these contracts supposed to be out there for public viewing. Because I think these politicians have to understand this is not your money. You are there elected for 5 years to handle affairs, and then you're given secret contracts. Nobody could see the contracts that you're giving. We're supposed to know that's accountability and that's transparency. And you should not benefit because your family member or your friend is in government. And that's one of the reasons why we are failing fiscally as a country, because these contracts that are given are not based on merits. They are based on who you know. And sometimes that's not the best person to do the job. I said it before. We don't do corruptions like those other countries where we steal in our bank accounts. We do corruption in this country by giving out these contracts. We blow the contracts because when I give you more than the contract is really worth, you giving me something either under the table, over the table, on the side of the table. I'm getting something back. And then when we have expenditures that are bloated, we have revenues that are not coming in, we got to borrow more money. It's because of these same contracts that we have politicians give out to their friends and their people that they know. And that's one of the reasons that's running this country in the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take this call before we take a break. Good morning, caller on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight in Baltimore.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, Dwight and Baum. Look here, the same things what you all talking about. You know, every administration is checking out is the same situation over and repeatedly, right? You know, it's friends, family, and lovers, but you know they had to address the only one body where we are now saying that it isn't that way, right? There's no difference. The only difference, right, in this tit for tat governance what we have, right? Because that's the type of governance we have in this country where when I in power, I use smoke screens like to say, oh, they did that, right? And then when you get in power, they use the same smoke screen to say, oh, they did that. But no, the only people like you indicated keep suffering with that type of mindset are the people in the middle, the Bahamian people, right? So I'm hoping, not hoping, I just need to know that the Bahamian people eyes are open up to the point that like these two parties, right? They're not interested in no New Day or nobody's future, right? Because if you ain't tired as a people being bamboozled with these names or whatever they just call them when they come up, those jingles every year telling you about this and that. We don't get swing for every jingle what these parties came up with. None came the past. None came the past. So yes, we do need a New Day people, and it really is about our future. But there's one key factor in that. We can never get a New Day with none of these parties, or we can never know our worth, our future with any of these parties. Final point, Dwight. You know, when it comes to the obesity level in the Bahamas, you know, America is the fattest nation on the earth, right? We, the Bahamian people, we adopted the American lifestyle of consuming food that are only designed for the eyes and the taste, and it really has no benefit for the body. Why? I hope the next government put a moratorium on fast food entering this country, because see, we trying to play like these fast foods in this country are benefiting people, right? Yeah, somebody get a job, but how much people gonna end up with all type of diseases and because of the type of food they bringing in this country and calling it food. We need to stop bringing in what you call it. These franchises that we know the food that coming out of these franchises aren't healthy food. That's why so much people die in America, because that's all they just eat.
But what about self-control, personal responsibility? You have to take control and realize that's only supposed to be a treat once in a while.
I understand that, right? That's one part of the story. But just like Palm indicated, we need education. The people need to be educated about the choices of food that they are consuming, right? And then that may help them develop some strength to stop consuming the type of food that they thought sitting in a fast food with two burgers and 3 extra fries was a thing. And in fact, that's you only sitting right there slowly killing yourself. We need the education, man, but we can't allow these people to be to come in this country and pretend that they are selling us something that worth and value. Have a nice day.
Very interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, let's read these messages as we go to the break. Oh boy. Okay. Does the Constitution say that if you have a beneficial interest in a contract, you must disclose it? If you have a joint account, don't you have a beneficial interest? It seems like we have to review every single contract awarded in the past 5 years to determine if an MP has a beneficial interest. These guys are just raping the Treasury year after year. No wonder they get scrambled to get in those chairs. They scramble to get in those chairs and refuse to resign no matter how implicated they are. Someone says we're ignoring the water research company story. Okay, obviously you're not listening. And this one says, I'm a landscaper and used to clean those substations before these came to office. Okay, getting into some stuff here then. What? Okay, I can't read that one here.
You're getting all the business, Dwight.
That's pretty serious. Huh? What? Wow. Wow. That's pretty serious. Oh dear. Okay.
I don't know. You know.
I can't. You need to come forward, person. You need to come forward.
You know, I think we need I think my thinking is we need a new type of politics in order to secure a prosperous future for our country and Bahamians. That's what I think. You know, we need a new type of politics in order to secure. If we continue the way it's going now, you know, all these politics are doing, if you just take the trend line on how our debt and how our deficit is going, they are just sinking us deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into abyss until, and I think it may not be a bad idea for the IMF to come in here. It may not be a bad idea because at least we will be forced to do the things that we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like we have the next 2 weeks to go before the election, 2 weeks or so to go before the elections, and we hear all type of talking back and forth. But in order to reduce the deficit and reduce debt, we have to do a combination of stuff. Increase revenue, cut spending, and grow the economy. You hear anything about what is going to be cut? Do you hear anything about how we're going to increase revenue? Do you hear anything about how we're going to grow the economy by providing long-term, good-paying jobs for Bahamians that are in this country? No. No. You hear none of that. Just promises. I can give you this. I'm going to give you that. And then when they get in power, they don't do it.
Yeah. Always. Same old thing over and over. This final text here. Your co-host is correct about all that she said about the mistake the FNM made in proceeding with the anti-corruption bill, especially with new members in the House. The people needed that to avoid the exact place we are in again right now. Dr. Minnis knows this, and that alone is why they'll be punished at the polls. Independents are the only solution at this point. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I think, Dwight, we need some independence in there. I don't trust any of the individual parties because, first of all, show me you can get in the House first. Show me you can convince a constituency to give you a chance to get in the House before you try to leave the country. So I don't trust any of those parties who can't even get a seat in the House. But I think we need some individuals. I say, look at the candidates and give some of those individuals an opportunity to shake up the House of Assembly as opposed to this lump-sided thing we have where all of one side go one way and we get the same results over and over and over. That's my position.
Let's take the break. When we come back, a lot more to talk about on this Monday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And we've got your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. Here's what's happening. We've got in your real-time traffic, heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway, just as you get past Harold Pond in the northbound lanes, you'll be seeing that. And the closer you get to Tawny and Darling Highway, you'll be noticing how heavy that is there. Traffic building up as well on Tawny and Darling Highway, westbound to that roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. Building traffic on Gladstone Road, especially the closer you get to JFK Drive. And then we are seeing pockets of some of the major intersections. So Blue Hill and Carmichael is building just north of Soldier Road. Blue Hill northbound to the Independence Drive. Independence Drive also westbound back backed up a ways there as well. East Street's looking pretty busy this morning, especially between Soldier Road and the East-West Highway and Independence Drive roundabout, mainly in the northbound lanes. And then we've got pockets of the major intersections, as you said, so Robinson and East-West Highway looking particularly busy. And Robinson and Old Trail, Robinson and Soldier Road, and further up Prince Charles Drive and Beatrice Avenue in some spots. And Beatrice Avenue, Charles Saunders Highway, looking pretty busy too. That's what's happening. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Your traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined. And time for another check of your weather for today. Here's what's happening. We've got a weak pressure gradient along with Saharan dust that's going to dominate weather across the country into the middle of the week. Everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activity, as we're expecting triple-digit heat indices again today. And boaters should be alert for possible funnel cloud activity. For all areas, your forecast calls for partly mostly sunny, hot, and humid conditions. It's going to be hazy as well with that Saharan dust. And we're expecting isolated showers and possible thunderstorms, turning fair and warm tonight with a passing shower. Gusty winds and higher seas are expected in showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but that heat index up to 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, light winds will remain over the islands through the middle of the week, along with Saharan dust settling over the area. So for Tuesday, partly to mostly sunny, hot, humid, and hazy conditions with quick passing showers or thunderstorm, turning fair and warm with isolated showers at night. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, hot, hazy, and humid again with isolated showers or thunderstorm, fair and warm with a passing shower at night. In the tropics, Ida, now a tropical storm making its way inland over southern Louisiana and Mississippi. And we've got tropical depression number 10 located over the central tropical Atlantic. We're also watching a tropical wave expected to emerge off the west coast of Africa later today. And a tropical depression is likely to form by the middle or later part of the week as the system moves west-northwestward at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Plus, we've got a broad area of low pressure expected to form in the southern Caribbean Sea over the next few days. This system has a 20% chance of formation as it moves 5 to 10 miles per hour over the western Caribbean Sea. So the tropics are getting hot. Keep an eye on those for you, but that's your morning blend weather check. We'll be back with more morning blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
The FNM is working to build a better future for all, investing in our youth, delivering tax relief to families and businesses, investing in workforce development, and offering training and assistance to new business owners and entrepreneurs. The F&M is working to build a prosperous post-pandemic economy. On September 16th, we have the opportunity to vote for a brighter future. Vote F&M because it's about your future.
This has been a paid political announcement from the Free National Movement.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
You've tried everything. ASUS with your mother's cousin's sister's auntie, and even hiding your money under your mattress. But is your money safe? Your Bahamian dollar deposit in a member bank or credit union is insured up to $50,000. If anything happens, your deposit insured value will be returned to you thanks to Deposit Insurance. Visit Deposit Insurance Corporation at www.dic.bs.
Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Pamela Musgrove. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with some of the members of the United Coalition movement. They've been formed out of a number of political parties that have come together. They'll tell us why, but we suspect they're thinking stronger. They're stronger together. Safety in the numbers there, but we'll get the reasons from them in just a bit. As you said, there's a lot of politics to talk about. The government has released their pre-election update report, the fiscal update report, as required by the Fiscal Responsibility Act. And it's short. It's about a page, eh? Yeah. And then over the weekend, the PLP releasing their plan. It's called officially Our Blueprint for Change. I had a chance to go through some of it. We're going to be going through a lot more of it over the next few days, especially tomorrow. And make sure you take a look at all of that coming up over the next few days, definitely, before we go to the polls, so we know exactly what we're getting ourselves into. Again, as we've been saying this morning, they tell us a lot of these things, but don't necessarily deliver them. But anyway, at least we can hold them to it.
When it comes to pen, paper slap. But let pen write anything on it.
Yeah. But at least we can wave that in their face. They come around in a few years. You said, what about this? What happened to that, right? And let them squirm their way around that. All right. Now, we do want you to hear a little bit about what was said over the weekend. There were a number of rallies, a number of events. We're going to begin with a drive-in. Is it drive-in, drive-through? What is it? Drive-up rally? The F&M had, and what the Prime Minister had to say. And it was interesting to note the tone. It's it's a lot about attacking the PLP's leader. Take a listen to this report from our Giorgio Bain.
Seeks to duplicate a sweep on that island come election day.
That's wrong with dog. He's a strong man, someone who will understand.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis dancing his way on stage, outlining plans to boost Grand Bahama's economy, including a home porting act and the expansion of the Grand Bahama shipyard.
Early in our next term, we are going to put in place the home porting act, similar to the Hotel Encouragement Act. You have already experienced more visitors from the cruise lines coming to Grand Bahama. The expansion of the Grand Bahama shipyard will begin as early. Listen to me now, listen to me. The expansion, that is work for you, will begin as early as October of this year.
One by one, Free National Movement candidates took the stage as the crowd blew their horns in the distance. F&M claimed a landslide victory in Grand Bahama for the 2017 general election. Marco City incumbent Michael Pintard urged the crowd to give the party another chance despite its shortcomings.
That notwithstanding that we didn't get everything right, that sometimes we didn't move at the pace that you desired, we care about what happens to you going into the future and the future of your children. And that is why tonight we're asking you, despite the challenges that we have, despite some shortfalls we have experienced, let's do it again together.
Peace, Grand Bahama. We voting crazy. We voting crazy.
East End incumbent Kwesi Thompson reminded the crowd of the many challenges the F&M faced during the past 4 years, and now he says it's time for the victory lap.
Our leader, Dr. Minnis, he has been tested like no other. Listen, you know there's nothing like when you have been tested. There is nothing like when you've been gone through the fire. You can see who you really are when you have gone through the fire. And like people say, tough times never last. But people like Dr. Minnis will last.
West End and Bibney incumbent Bakisha Parker Edgecombe urged the crowd not to believe the promises of opposing parties.
We are going to the polls and we are going to vote them out. Not because of the fact that we just want to go to the polls and vote them out, but because we have a record to demonstrate that we have worked for the 4.5 years and that we will continue working to empower each and every one of our constituents.
The parties now race to the advanced polls on September 9th, when the first votes will be cast for the 2021 general election.
Ooh, the F&M's been like no way. Listen, when times were rough, they held it down. They brought relief to every town.
Okay, so that's one from Grand Bahama. There was another one from New Providence where the Prime Minister got into a lot about the PLP leader. This is what he said at the drive-in rally on the Queen Elizabeth Sports Center ground. He said, quote, "If he gets back into office, you don't have to guess how he would govern. Just look at the track record of the other PLP governments. Just look at all the scandals they got into. Just look at how the PLP always takes your money to enrich the PLP elite. While you have to work hard for everything you get in life, the PLP elite lives off raiding the treasury. They make big promises in the campaign trail. They say they are for the people. Then if they win, they go for the money. They take the money. They do nothing for the people. The PLP leader is a disgrace. If over 20 years Brave ain't do nothing for Cat Island, you all think he will do something for you as Prime Minister? A lousy MP would end up a lousy Prime Minister. Let us keep our country out of the hands of Brave Davis. Brave is not the type of person who should be Prime Minister of any country. If Brave becomes prime minister, he will return the Bahamas to its darkest days. We must not go back to his dangerous vision for our country. Wow.
I think the prime minister forgot that he was governing for the last 4.5 years. And I think he has forgotten that there were questions asked of him and he hasn't provided answer, like for those contracts that the Auditor General was talking about. The FNM had this political strategy in the 2002 elections when they had their dream team with Tommy Turnquest and Dion Foth. And their strategy was largely around bashing Mr. Christie. The fact that he went back to the PLP and saying he was corrupt and all of that. And it failed because what they should have focused on back then was their record in office. The party was in office for the past 10 years under Mr. Hubert Alexander Ingram. And so what they should have focused on, what they have done and what they will continue to do. But instead, they used that strategy of bashing Mr. Christie. And here it is, you see where more things change, the more they remain the same. They're doing this exact same thing. You were in office for the last 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. And the people are calling on you to give an account if you want them to give them opportunity. And you're using this time to bash the leader of the opposition. It's a bad strategy.
Yeah. Let's read some messages as we go to the break here. Okay. Dwight, you seemed all right. Good to know you're doing okay after your second shot. Not doing very well. In fact, less pain after this second shot than I had with the first one. My arm was sore for a week after that first shot. But yeah, definitely doing pretty well. So, hey, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Okay. Preach, Sister Pam. Preach. CYFOI is urgently needed. Freedom of information. Yeah, well, we're barely there, right? This one says here, it's clear there are no honorable men in this government. The Prime Minister and other MPs should hold each other accountable. This one says, after the 2017 election results, there will be only one FNM seat in FNM country, aka Grand Bahama. Michael Pintard, Marco City. Guarantee that's the only one. Wow, okay.
I think they should give Marco Pine a chance. I think you need the PLP was in there from 2012 and 2017. Nothing happened for Grand Bahama. The FNM was in there from 17 to now. Nothing happened. At least Marco Pine will talk for you. You need someone like that because nothing happened under those two administrations for Grand Bahama. I think they should give Marco Pine an opportunity. We need some independence in the House. Some independent candidates. I don't care if they're part of a party. We need some in the House to shake this up because I think just moving from one side to the next, we're gonna be dizzy. Yeah. And I don't foresee any real major change. And I think we need to shake up.
This person says the Prime Minister forgets that people said the same thing about him and he was elected. He needs to run on his record, but there is none. So he's talking bad about Davis. September 16th is coming. Yeah. Wow. All right. Yeah. Let's break for the news. When we come back, we're going to be talking with some members who've come together to form a coalition. We'll see what they say after the news. Stay with us. Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Now at 8:21, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a weak pressure gradient along with Saharan dust that will dominate weather across the country through the middle of the week. Everybody's being advised to remain hydrated and limit outdoor activities for prolonged periods. For all areas, look for partly to mostly sunny, hot, humid, and hazy conditions today with isolated showers and a possible thunderstorm, turning fair and warm at night with a passing shower. Temperatures getting up to around 93 Fahrenheit, 34 Celsius, but the heat index will make it feel like 104 Fahrenheit, 40 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, light winds will remain over the islands through the middle of the week, along with Saharan dust. It's going to settle over the area. So for Tuesday and Wednesday, we're expecting partly mostly sunny, hot, humid, and hazy conditions with quick passing showers or a thunderstorm. Fair and warm with isolated showers at night. In the tropics, a lot going on. We'll get to Ida and a new depression that's formed in just a bit. But we're also watching a tropical wave expected to emerge off the west coast of Africa later today. And a tropical depression could form out of that one as well, or latter part of the week. And then there's a broad area of low pressure expected to form in the southern Caribbean Sea over the next few days. The system has a 20% chance of formation as it moves 5 to 10 miles per hour over the western Caribbean Sea over the next few days. So, Ida is now a tropical storm after wreaking lots of havoc in the Gulf states of Louisiana and Mississippi in the U.S. Tropical storm now moving over southwestern Mississippi. As of this morning, was about 95 miles southwest of Jackson, or about 50 miles northeast of Baton Rouge. Ida's moving toward the north at 8 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds have decreased near 60 miles per hour. Additional rapid weakening is forecast as Ida is expected to become a tropical depression by this evening. Then there's tropical depression number 10. That, as of 5 o'clock this morning, was about 775 miles northeast of the Leeward Islands. The depression continues with little change in intensity under strong upper-level winds. Depression 10 is moving toward the north at 8 miles per hour. A general northward motion is forecast to continue through Monday, and maximum sustained winds are near 35 miles per hour. Little change in strength is forecast during the next couple of days. So a lot going on in the tropics. And that is your morning blend. Weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. What's first for you comes first for us. And at 8:25, we've got another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC Royal Bank. A lot of hot spots to tell you about today. We've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to Tawny Williams-Darling this morning in the northbound lanes. Glaston Road looking a little bit better for you, but still heavy in the northbound lane to JFK Drive this morning. Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road, you're going to be seeing a lot of traffic there. And then eastbound to Blue Hill Road as well. Blue Hill Road is also busy this morning, as usual, north of Soldier Road, the northbound lanes to Independence Drive. And East Street South is busy, just north of Soldier Road to the roundabout with Independence Drive on East Street and East-West Highway this morning. Further up, East Street is busy up to that intersection with Robinson Road, which is also congested. Robinson Road is going to be a hot spot for you at multiple spots. Robinson near the Mall and Marathon, Robinson near Old Trail, and then further up Prince Charles Drive and Beatrice Avenue. And Prince Charles Drive and Fox Hill Road looking busy, and building traffic there as well. Those are your hottest spots. Eastern Road also seeing some building traffic just west of Fox Hill in spots, just as you approach Johnson Road westbound. That's what we're dealing with. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC Royal Bank, banking reimagined.
Pediasure, the #1 brand recommended by pediatricians, now has 33% less sugar compared to previous formula and provides 25 vitamins and minerals and 7 grams of protein kids need for a healthy growth. It's a convenient meal or snack with a delicious kids-approved taste they'll love. Pediasure, nutrition to help kids grow. Ask your pediatrician about Pediasure today.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Breakfast just got better at Wendy's. Introducing the Breakfast Biggie Bag. Enjoy a double sausage muffin with 2 square sausage patties, a freshly cracked egg, and cheese served on a toasted English muffin, a medium waffle fries, and an orange juice for only $5.25, VAT inclusive. Add an apple pie for just $1 more.
Say what?
At Wendy's, better breakfast is all day. Offers valid in participating locations. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Many people wonder, what makes Boost Academy unique? Maybe it's our 8-to-1 student-staff ratio, the emphasis we place on student individuality, our focus on numeracy, literacy, and creating better citizens by sharpening students' critical thinking skills. One of our many talented teachers, program facilitators, and mentors. Or just maybe it is our commitment to taking full responsibility for your child's education, no hidden fees or costs. Regardless of what it is, let us help your child reach their full potential. Boost Academy is currently enrolling students of grades 4 through 12. Visit www.boostbahamas.com to apply now.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Toronto with Pamela Musgrove. Here on this Monday morning, we've been having a great conversation this morning, but we're changing gears slightly. Still talking about politics, but some interesting developments have happened over the past few days. A number of different political organizations have come together, and they have formed the new United Coalition movement. We've got 3 representatives from this group with us this morning, and they're going to tell us about this movement and why this is something we should be paying attention to. Very pleased to have with us Charlene Paul, Shameen Lindsay, and Philippa Lundy. Ladies, it's a pleasure. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you, Dwight. Good to be here.
Morning. Good morning.
All right. So let's talk about it. We know a couple of the groups that have come together, but tell us all about it. Who comprises the United Coalition movement, and why was it felt that this was needed at this time?
So, Dwight, there is a huge sense of leadership dearth in the country. There is a huge sense of the need for a change. There is a huge sense that successive governments, the established parties, have not delivered on promises made over many years. And so persons have been coming forward to help bring the change, but recognizing the need to work together. And so the United Coalition movement represents these capable, competent leaders who have said, let's work together. This one is for country. That's the theme, that's the rallying call, and that's why we've come together. And so our leader is Cassius Stewart, who has been in the political trenches for a long time. And we also have F. Ali McIntosh, who's also been in the trenches for a long time. But they've been joined with new faces to the political arena, persons. Also, we have the present Speaker of the House, Alston Moultrie, who has been calling for change and has joined to say, you know what, let's unite, let's create a formidable force, a viable alternative government. And of course, we have the ladies on this call, myself, Charmaine Lindsay, and we also have others who have come and joined to ensure that the Bahamas can have an alternative.
Yeah. All right. So we're already getting messages about this, and people have been saying it. I don't know what the word is, but apprehension might be the best word about third parties in this country. And yet everybody seems to be tired and everybody wants change. What do you think is the holdup? What's the reason for the apprehension? Why aren't we willing to say, hey, we've been doing this way all these years and doing that way all those other years, and yet we are seemingly in the same boat? Why don't we just take a dive now into that water? What's the issue there?
So yes, there is an apprehension, and the thing is, people say, better the devil you know than the one you don't. But I say, when we say, don't choose and settle between the lesser of two evils, move away from evil altogether. Choose good. And so that's why this group of good people have come forward, and we say to the Bahamas, if we keep doing the same thing, expecting something different, we know that's the definition of insanity. We say, like Maya Angelou, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. We don't need to try to find out who the established parties are. We've seen them. We've given them chances after chances. And so me and my colleagues have come together and said, we can do this. We can do better, Bahamas.
What are you doing as individuals to get into the House? Because I think Bahamians, I find it difficult to believe, and I'm in that category, to take a full slate of just new persons to run the government. I think that's a far stretch. But what are you as individuals doing within the constituencies that you're assigned to get into Parliament?
Absolute. Excellent question. And I'll go first and then give my colleagues an opportunity to speak. Thank you, Pamela. So myself, I'm Charlene Paul. For the past 30 years, I have been working to empower women and girls in the Bahamas, teaching and training personal financial literacy, helping to get our Bahamians to be more financially responsible, working to eliminate gender-based violence through Avenue of Hope Women's Teen Challenge, Smart Women in collaboration with Zonta, and you yourself would have been one of our Smart Women speakers, and Chair for the Caribbean Women in Leadership, an organization that has brought women together to ensure that we have more voices at the table. I'm an accountant, financial consultant, banking executive. I know how to transform organizations. And we say there are a lot of Bahamians and the middle class in particular, professionals who can do a whole lot better, but refuse to come to the table. And we say, listen, it's time for us to get involved if we want to see change. And so those are some of the things I have been working on in my community. And I invite my colleagues to share some of what they have been doing.
Good day, everyone. Charmaine Lindsay here. Having had the opportunity to be an ambassador for the Bahamas for quite some time, extensive travel, being a part of different communities worldwide, one of the things that I feel that is lacking is that we need to be able to put our Bahamian people to work. You know, I represent the great constituency of Freetown. And one of the things that in my travels is employment, you know, even though we have avenues to go to BTVI, College of the Bahamas, some of them, you find that the average person over the hill can't even read and write. So one of the things I'm advocating for is that special knowledge have a manufacturing mecca within the community. And that's our crafts, our straw goods, our woodwork, our jewelry making. You know, one of the things that we're looking for is to be able to mass produce. And one of the things that I feel that is very much needed in our community is to be for Bahamians to be given that opportunity to show their worth, what they can do, and provide for their families. So that's my main goal in my community, job placement, and being able to give to the youth, the future of our nation, that ability to be self-sufficient.
You know, one of my political idols is Margaret Thatcher, and I read a lot of books about her. And when her party lost the election, I think they had Ted Heath, who lost under the ticket, and he still wanted to remain leader. And so there were a group of persons in the party that didn't want him to remain leader, and so they went to Margaret Thatcher. And what they did with her, she had a speech coach to help her with speaking. She had an image consultant who helped her with her brand, how she went out there. And I think that is one of the things that's lacking in our politics. Maybe because we're small, I think we just could decide that, you know, I want to run and go out there. You're competing with the established parties. And Bahamians, generally, I get a feeling that we don't like change. Even if it's broken, it's still a hard thing for us to make that change. So I think there needs to be more effort. I think you need to find persons, maybe it will be too much to pay for it, but friends who have those skills, and you have to put yourself out there. You have to be doing the talk. You have to be on the programs, talking, putting yourself out there so people can hear you and see you and then get in touch with you. I think what we tend to do is, you know, appear one or two times before maybe a program like this. But I think more needs to be done to put yourself out there so people can hear you, see you, feel you, touch you, and say, okay, you know what? I think they're a good option to run the party. I just think more needs to be done. Yeah. If you have a chance of competing against the established, and not that Bahamians don't think we need change. They're just afraid, generally speaking, to make
We do want to
change.
hear from Philippa, but I agree with Pam. A lot of candidates that people are just seeing and hearing from for the first time. They've popped out of nowhere. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they stand for. We've not done anything publicly ever, it seems. And they're saying that we need change and the changes in them. How does the public... How can we believe this when we don't know you at all? Not saying that we don't know any of you ladies. I'm just saying, but that just seems to be the case this year, especially.
The thing is, if we keep that mindset, then we will never go anywhere. In order to produce the level of pride in our country, the level of education, one must take up the mantle and start. That's the most important thing, is to start. And then come together, because, for instance, this is my first time in the political arena, and I have a lot of persons that came up to me and in support, verbally support, and it's not something that is very easy to do. But if we believe in the culture that we're spreading for the betterment of our country, then you have to give the newcomers an opportunity to show what they're made of, because if you don't start, then you can't finish. So we need persons to look at the new candidates and give them the opportunity, speak with them, like you say, share the vision, and then move on from there.
So let me just chime in here while we wait for Philippa to come on. Pamela, you were right, and this is what Caribbean Women in Leadership has been working on for the past 2 years, actually building that capacity. We have held training sessions where we've had more than 300 women in attendance. We have had web series that we have held over a 5-week period with more than 3,000 women in attendance. So there is an appetite, there is an understanding that we do have to get our women prepared and ready to face the establishment. And we have actually been working assiduously at that. And there is absolutely more that can be done. I see Philippa now has a mic. You can go ahead, Philippa.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Yeah, I was just listening, attentively. I just love what is being, how Charlene. I like what Charlene has been saying, and even with Charmaine, she chimed in about newcomers and how people can be apprehensive at times. And I want to say, for me personally, this is not my first time, I would say, in the political arena per se. I hail from Grand Bahama, yes, but I've been here a little over a year. And as soon as I came for the capital, I came with a mindset that I wanted to make change. And my thing was, Lord, how am I going to be able to make change in this Bahamas? Because it's not only Nassau, it's not only Grand Bahama. There's a slew of islands. And so my passion and my heart is just to make sure to be a part or play an intricate role in that change. And so I joined up with a group called BDM. And as soon as I came to Nassau, I hit the floor running. I wanted to know, where can I be helpful in Nassau? What can I do? And so I've been working with that party now for the past year. And I must say that I have learned so much being here on the ground here in Nassau. And that has motivated me to want to be a part, to want to make a difference. And it is such a privilege this morning just to be here with such wonderful people who want to make a difference in Bahamaland. For those persons who don't know me, because I'm one of the new faces, well, hello there, everybody. I want to say that I'm a community person. Grand Bahama definitely knows me. Our leaders in Grand Bahama definitely know me. I'm one of the persons who I can say, I would say one of the initial persons who started the neighborhood watch it, and it caught on like wildfire because I know that's a big thing. And so a lot of people know me from the neighborhood watch program that was created because I'm about community and about neighborhood. My history is in education. I have been an educator now probably for the past 15 to 16 years, and I've worked with little ones, and through working with the little children and even with the youth, and even how can I say the young adults, you can't leave them out, the young adults. Everybody's crying. I heard Shami mention it. Everybody's cries about unemployment. And that was one of the things I've been focusing on over the years. I also teach QuickBooks accounting, and I am an accountant also. But my whole thing is, over the years, I've tried to equip persons by using their innate giftings, because I feel as if everybody have a gift that they do, and they probably don't even know that gift can bring wealth and reward to them. I don't know if you guys can relate to what I'm saying. And so in my years of working in the business field, in the accounting field, and as I meet young people, they're saying, listen, we just came out of school and we don't have a job and we can't find a job, and everybody's turning us down because we're quote unquote we have too much knowledge, or we're not the person for the job. My whole thing is, listen, I want you to tap into your giftings. Tap into your giftings. If you know how to draw, if you know how to paint, if you know how to use a computer, that there is platform for you to take it even further. And so I've met so much young persons who they want to start businesses, and they're saying, yes, I know about the initial government plan that they have in place, that they'll help us out with the small business program. Yes, that was a good start. But what I hear is, even when you come there, it's so much red tape to go through, and there's so much persons pulling at that program. But like I say, for me personally, I really wanted to tap into our young adults. those who want to create businesses. And they're
Right.
trying to figure out what, and like I tell you, sometimes you're sitting on your gifting. You're sitting on your gift. I met a young lady. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we want to find out more about the coalition and how this is going to work with so many different parties that have come together and some people with some very strong views, how this is all going to coalesce into one tank with ideals and for the way forward. We're going to find out from you about that. We're going to get into that right after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
On and on, we laughed like kids at all the silly things we did. Made me promises, knowing I'd believe. Promises.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy up to 150 megabits per second plus 157 TV channels and unlimited home phone minutes for only $99.99.
Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network. Conditions apply.
Be prepared for the rainy season with an RBC loan to fund your rainy season essentials. For hurricane shutters, generators, solar power systems, or general home repair, RBC offers a range of flexible and competitive financing solutions. Let us help you get started at rbc.com/Caribbean/get-a-loan. Special conditions apply. Reimagine your rainy season readiness with RBC financing.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Let me ask you a few questions. What's your name?
Pam.
Favorite food?
Steak.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Is your money safe?
It's under my bed, so I guess so.
Are you serious?
Yeah, why?
Unless your money is in a bank or credit union that's a member of the Deposit Insurance Corporation, there's no guarantee it's safe.
Yeah, but what if something happens to the bank?
Your Bahamian dollar deposits are insured up to $50,000, so you'd still be ahead. Plus, your mattress might catch fire. Then what?
Man, those banks and credit unions are looking good right about now.
Visit the DIC's website at www.dic.bs. Protection for your money guaranteed with DIC.
Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Second time around, I'm still believing the words that you said. You said you'd always be here, a love forever still repeats in my head. You can't finish what you start. This is love, it breaks my heart. You made me promises. You knew you'd never keep promises. Why do I believe?
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, along with Pamela Musgrove. We are talking with our guests from the United Coalition Movement, Charlene Paul and Shameen Lindsay and Philippa Lundy. And I'm talking about this new group that's come together, members from the BDM, the BCP, PNC, and probably some more. So there's a lot of different groups there. You mentioned the Speaker of the House, Halsey Moultrie, is a part of this as well. We've talked to these groups separately. We know that they have some different views, but what will a united coalition movement stand for? What sets it apart from the PL, the FNM, or any of the other groups out there? There are quite a few others. What's the difference there? I know we talked earlier about individually as candidates, but as a movement, what are you all about?
So Dwight.
Sorry, go ahead.
Dwight. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The key thing here, as you've indicated, is what unites us. And what we look at are the common goals, our common values. You see, what the Bahamas needs and what Bahamians are asking and longing for is self-determination, participatory governance, and a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Truth of the matter is, what we've had over the past 25, 30 years is really a government by a few for the many. And until we come to the place to recognize, we have three classes in a society. We have the elite. This is the class that actually shape the city. They're formally and informally in charge. They're well organized. Then we have the middle class, largely uninformed, uninterested, and sadly disorganized. But this is the group that has the greatest potential to bring about change. This is the group that have the greatest potential to change the trajectory of a nation. And then we have the poor who suffer the most and are exploited and are not organized. And so, Dwight, this is our coming together to say, let's organize. Because the elite few that run our country and have been running our country for many years are very well organized. And so it's time for us, Bahamians, and particularly those of us who are professionals, who've been educated, who know better, who can see better. It's time to come together. It's time to organize. It's time to come to the fore to participate in our government and not just be dictated to and be puppets and thankful that we have a nice job and we can feed our family. What about the many who cannot feed their families? And what about our country that is falling down around us, deteriorating anchor institutions? This is very serious and a call for national unity and national service.
Shameen and Philippa, I see you nodding, but there's a good question before you speak. Somebody says here, hey, we're a small country, relatively small problems. Well, I don't know about that part there, small problems. But anyway, but why couldn't you all join up with some of the others out there, like the DNA and some other groupings? Why hasn't that happened?
And so that's not for the lack of trying either. And we put the call out again that let's unite, let's come together. One of the founding core values our founding fathers indicated was unity, the ability and the capacity to work together. Now, we do still have opportunity for alliances and collaboration, and those talks continue, and we continue to negotiate there. But really, what we're hearing on the ground, Bahamians are tired of this one big party with this one big leader who really is only ran by about 5 or 6 people. Bahamians want more participation. They want collaboration. They want more people at the table, more thinkers, more leaders.
So what constituency are you 3 running in? What constituencies are you running in?
Well, I'm running in the Tall Pines area.
Philippa?
Yeah, that's Philippa Lanty.
Yep.
Okay.
Shameen?
I'm in Freetown.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm running for Yamacraw.
Okay. Like I mentioned, I think a lot at this point should be on the ground in your constituency, getting your name out there, getting your message out there, flooding social media, the talk shows, doing the rounds, so people can get to see you. And at least, if they choose, I do believe that lots of Bahamians are looking for change, because we have made up I think Bahamians have made up in their mind that we have seen the PLP in action. We have seen the FNM in action, and they're the same. They're basically the same. They give promises, they don't deliver, but it's just for them to get in power to advance their special interests and not look generally at the country and moving the country forward. But I think you have to work harder during this time to get your name out there on the social media, touch the people, feel the people, so at least you can get elected in the constituency. The party and the party machinery will take care of itself. I think the focus should be getting elected in the House of Assembly, because I do believe we need some independence to shake up the way things have been going on in this country.
You're absolutely right, Pamela, and that's exactly the methodology, the modus operandi as the party we're doing. So we've started the talk shows, but it's everyone in their constituency. And what you would find, you may not have heard of these persons, Pamela, you may not have heard of these persons, Dwight, but a lot of the people in these communities, because we've pulled people who've actually already been working in their communities, people who already are on the ground. And like I said, myself, I have been working for the past 30 years. And so, and Yamakra, I actually live in Yamakra Beach Estates. And so definitely this is possible. This is not unthinkable, impossible. This is quite doable. But I agree, we continue to do the talk show rounds and also meeting our constituents. And we are holding town hall meetings virtually as well.
You know why I said
We've done it before. Yep, definitely.
Right.
But
you
we
know
got
why
this.
you know why I said on a national level? Because like for me, I have persons in my family who don't really tune into politics, right? And I'm not in their constituency. And they will come and they will say, man, Pam, what we can do? You know, I don't even know the person who run it in my constituency. So when you have a national, even though you have to get in that constituency, when you have a national image, if somebody knows you, they'll say, oh, I know Charlene Port. No, she's a good person. I think you should give her a chance. So that's why you go national and not just leave it to the individual constituencies alone, because sometimes you have family members who would hear about you, know about you. You know how we do things in this country. Word of mouth spread faster than many things in this country. And that's why I believe you need a national image as well.
Yeah.
All right. So we got this text here, and this is very unfortunate. But this person says, why not one of them is going to win a seat? Total waste of time. Mark my words, on the evening of the September 16th, the PLP or the FNM are going to win everything, win the election. So we got a lot of people who say things like that, but are going to be the ones complaining, now, or will be complaining in 2 years or 3 years about how the country's in a terrible state. Why do we do this? What do we do to get people to wake up and say, you don't have to be a prisoner to the way things are right now?
One of the things that I've come across is that, persons to me say, Charmaine, I know you'll be a good person for the job. You know, you love people, you love service, you've been doing it all your life. And then when I said, well, come join me, they would say, the lesser of the two evils. Well, I'm a so-and-so. I said, but then if we keep this mindset of I'm an FNM or I'm a PLP, but yet you're tapping me on my shoulder and telling me to go forth. If everybody's doing that, then you come right back to the norm. So instead of just tapping me on my shoulder and say, listen, come join and change the Bahamas, change it for the betterment of the youth. Not just sit back and watch someone and then criticize, It's easy to criticize. But instead, let me see help. That's what is needed.
Absolutely. And let me say, Dwight, and to the audience, we can be like the three lepers who were outside the city walls, and the city was starving and they were starving. They said, we can sit here and do nothing and die. Or we can get up and go down to the Syrian camp and perchance they may give us something to eat. And I say to us as a people, should we sit here and die and watch our nation crumble around us, educated, informed people, and do nothing, knowing that the established parties they've proven, will not deliver on the promises they've made, will only advance their unique agendas for the few? Or will we take courage, rise up, look to the Lord for our help, and perchance, God comes to our rescue and deliver this nation. We need to give ourselves hope and a chance. You know,
I like what both of the ladies are saying, and my thing is, we normally sit back as Bahamians and we discuss amongst ourselves, oh, we need change. And so now we're taking up the mantle. We're trying to move forward to take this country to a better place. And so I'm encouraging.
In the minds of a lot of Bahamian, they may sound unlikely that the three of you or any independent will get it, but it's not impossible, because I guarantee you, not many persons thought that the former prime minister would have lost his seat. Not many persons thought that happened before that happened. That was a great shocker, considering he had the largest margin of all the others in the prior election. So to some, it may be unlikely, but it's never impossible. I think it's a lot of work out there. And if you put yourself out there and you send your message in the constituency, I think, like Minister Paul, I know you know well, with God, all things are possible.
Absolutely.
To me, persons with that mindset has already given up. They've already given up the fight, because to come on and say that, okay, you're not going to win, it's going to go back to the other two parties. It says to me that you don't want better for you don't want better for your community. You don't want better for your future, for the children. So I say, Bahamians, take this opportunity. Be able to understand that this election is a very important one. And it will determine whether we rise or whether we fall.
All right. We've got about a minute left. We've got a break, but tell us how people can get more information about the candidates for the United Coalition movement and more about what you're going to be doing over the next few weeks.
So you're going to see our campaign ramp up. You're going to hear a lot more from our candidates, each individual, and you can also get more information from our website. Of course, we would have come together and been rallying, working over time to get this information out. So just stay tuned on our Facebook page. You will see more information, the United Coalition Movement. You look for us and you're going to see our vision for the Bahamas, our coming together, our candidates, and the course of direction, how we as Bahamians can do this and how we can make this happen. You can also, our leader is Cassius Stewart, so you can also find lots of information about him and how to contact him. I am running for Yamacraw, and individuals can find me on Facebook, can contact me at 223-766, and I will allow Charmaine and Philippa to give their information as well.
Same as well. You can contact me at 395-4289. Like I said, I will be continue to do my rounds, continue with parents on social media, as Ms. Ferguson suggested, and really get our vision out there. That's very important, because if we don't come together and we don't unite as a total body, then we will suffer. We need a new direction. We need a new start. We need to reset. Going through my constituency, a lot of persons have given up emotionally.
Yes.
And we need to fire back to them. There is a new day. There is a new dawn. There is a new change. And now it's a new season.
All right. And Philippa, you've got the final word. You're out with us in the audio, but here we go. All right. We're back.
I am back. I just want to encourage our Bahamian people to let's make a difference. Let's stand for change. We tend to talk amongst ourselves and be criticized when persons do try to make a stand and to make a move. I encourage you to support us. Let's push forward. Let's take this country to another level. You know, we really need the change. We're tired of the same old, same old. I hear my colleagues, I hear my friends, I hear my family talk about it all the time. We want change, we want change. Nobody's standing up. We have taken on the mantle to stand for this country, and we want our Bahamian people to stand behind us, to support us, to be of help to us. We want to do it. We can do it together as a nation. So I encourage everybody to come on out, support us as Bahamians.
Okay, ladies, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. Charlene Paul, Shameen Lindsay, and Philippa Lundy with United Coalition Movement. Really appreciate it. Good luck to all of you. We're going to take a break.
Dwight.
We've got
Thank
news,
you.
and when we come back, Morning Blend Business, we've got the latest with Arawak X. A lot more to talk about on the show. Stay with us.
The start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Where things stand with their initial crowdfunding initiative. Very pleased to have back with us from Arawak X, DRC Ramming Jr. DRC Ramming Jr., welcome back. It's been quite a week for you. Great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so it's been 1 week since you went live, and we now know, as we met them the following day on the show as well, the two companies that are part of the initial crowdfunding initiative, there, Pinnacle Foods and Bahama MiFi. Tell us about it. How has this week been? But what's the response been like? How are things going so far?
So the response has been amazing. It's so amazing, in fact, that we have a little bit of even a backlog of onboarding people. So right now we have 700 people plus have participated as investors, and or it's about 700, I should say. And we have another 1,800 that have handed in their KYC documents and are working. We're working diligently to get them properly so that they can participate. So the demand is clearly there. People are excited for these two companies. People want new opportunity, the opportunity to participate with these founders. And because it really is, at the end of the day, we're just a platform. It is about the companies. These companies are going to hire some 360 people. They're going to, provide good service for their customers, and it's about empowering them.
Yeah. How much can you tell us about what we're seeing in terms of the numbers, the amount of money that these customers are putting in, these investors? Can you give us that information? Are you at liberty to do that?
I can tell you I can speak broadly about it. So you have like really 3 or 4 groups of people. So you do have your heavy hitters that are coming in, putting in tens of thousands of dollars. Then you have your, I would say, professional that's putting in between $2,500 to $6,000, and then you have a group of people that are putting in their $500, and then you have some people that are just buying the one share. And I think they're doing that just to make sure that the system works, to try it out. So we're really happy and excited to see all of the different types of investors participating. We also have conversations right now that are ongoing with some of the institutional investors. So they would be in the several hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So how much money were you trying to raise for each company?
So that's public knowledge. So for Bahama MiFi, it's 2.1. And then for the Red Lobster, I think it's 2.7. So
are you able to say how much you've raised so far for each of those?
No, I'm not. At a certain point, I will be able to.
Okay.
And how, remind us of the dates, the timelines. How long do you have?
So each company has 90 days to raise this money. Week one was, I think everyone was surprised at the companies. I've had a lot of conversations with people that are now, they say, okay, now I got to go move money about. You know, a lot of people have money on fixed and in other places, and they have to go move money about to participate. So you're seeing that going on right now. But the companies really are starting to do their own tours. Obviously, it is about the team, and the team has to sell it. But ArrowACX just is there to provide the platform for companies, entrepreneurs to now access the public.
Now, remind us, the last time we spoke to you, I think you told us about what happens if you don't meet those objectives, the numbers.
Yes.
Remind us about that and how that works and why that's set up like that.
It is. Okay, so what happens is if company at the end of the 90 days does not meet its objective, all of the investors get their money back. Wow. And the reason being is that in the past, if you tried to do, so in private equity, if you put your money into a deal, and usually it goes towards general operations, that's the clause. And so if say you're part of a group of people and the guy needs $1 million and he's only able to raise 300,000, 400,000, that money kind of goes into a black hole. You know, you don't get that money back. Right. So we as the platform are protecting against undercapitalized ideas, because undercapitalization can kill a business. It's one of the ways a business can die. So we, the platform ArrowACX, make sure that there are no undercapitalized ideas. It's either the idea is going to be fully capitalized and have a good shot at working, or we protect the investor and we give them their money back.
Wow. So there's no such thing as we're so in like another week. We need just 2 more weeks and then we could get it. We're pretty sure. Does that happen at all?
No, typically you actually find that the companies typically finish out before the midway point. So like I say, it takes some time to drum up support, just because it, I think a lot of people were on the fence with all of our previous marketing, the week before. And they're like, I'll wait to see what happens. And now it's like, oh my gosh, mad rush time. I mean, got to get this document, got to get that in. But there's some, so while we are getting better and better at onboarding people, it's still, because it's a regulated process, it still takes time. And so onboard those other, I think it was 1,100 other people in our backlog right now. We'll see those numbers increase.
Well, all right. So let's talk some more about it. For those who might not have heard about this, people might not be familiar with this, even though we've had you on a few times. But let's talk about it generally and get into details about how crowdfunding, this type of crowdfunding works.
Mm-hmm. So ArrowACX is here to solve a very old problem. And that problem was, you have, on one hand, businesses that are going through growth period that need capital to finance growth, and individuals. These individuals are called investors with excess money that want to put their money to work. And there are many ways that the two come together, but really it's through exchanges, through platforms such as ArrowACX, that the two can meet in a regulated space. Because that's important too, because like I say, private equity space is the deals that happen between family and friends, and there's a lot of chaos that goes on there. There's a lot of ways to lose your money doing private equity. And so on the one hand, you have private equity on one extreme, and then you have the full public company on the other with all of its rules and regulations, steady, stable companies. But there's that big middle in there, where company is going through these large growth phases. They need capital. And in the past, only professional investors were allowed to participate in this space. You basically had to be an accredited investor, or an institution, or an accredited investor or an institution to participate. But with the internet and cell phones and these new regulations, now anyone can participate alongside the big guys. And so that's what ArrowACX does. We bring these two groups of very different people, very different things together for a common goal, and that's to grow people's money. That's it.
Sounds pretty simple. So you've launched with your first two.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? And when will we have other companies come on stream?
Great question. So we have we actually have 10 other companies that are close to launching. There's a big need. There's also 267 companies that have contacted us.
267.
But, obviously it's quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a few companies. There's been a hunger for business financing in the country. Basically, and this is not knocking any of the people that work for these institutions, but basically the banks have mostly said we're not giving out business loans. And so that was a traditional way. But in truth be told, in modern business, you have to finance it through equity because you just don't have enough collateral. So you can't look at the bank as it's going to be able to solve your problem, because the way debt works is you have to pay back the principal plus interest. The way equity works is that you've taken a chance with this guy, and when this guy wins, you win with him. And so that type of financing works really well when the company is going through growth. Otherwise, and to get a little technical, your balance sheet goes way off, and it's just the debt saddles the company in that stage of growth, and it can never grow beyond a certain size. That's why you see certain companies fail after they go through a certain place, because they have too much debt. Or like if they go through a pandemic, you saw Hertz went under in like 3 months. Yeah. But when you took a look at if you were to take a look at their balance sheet, if you're a finance person, you'd be like, oh my gosh, who lent them all this money? I mean, it was crazy amounts of debt. They were super, super leveraged. So, it's really only through platforms like ArrowACX that a company can get the financing that it needs, the right type of financing that it needs at that stage of growth, so that it can take off and become a big company, become one of those stable companies 5-6 years down the line.
I see our financial expert, Pam. She's got a look on her face. She's all excited.
No. I think it's a good concept. Just think about it. It's like Airbnb. You find a buyer, a seller, and the platform puts them together. But for us who like to watch Shark Tank and Dragon Den, right? Like, what is there to hold these companies accountable? Because normally you would find they're setting their pitch to these investors, and then in some case, okay, we got to be on the board. You got someone on the board to make sure my investment is going the way it ought to go. So my only thing in there is, what is there to hold these companies accountable that they are doing what they said they would do? Because like you said, if the guy does well, we do well too. But if he fails, we also fail too with our money. So that piece in the middle there, how do we hold them accountable after we've given our money away to them?
Great question. So it's by the rules of the platform. So the platform is a regulated marketplace, and what it means is to sign up on the marketplace as an issuer. I'm getting really technical. Mm-hmm. So forgive me, people at home. Basically, to sign up, you have to subscribe to these rules. You have certain reporting requirements. You have certain access. People are allowed to access certain information for how it's being run in a kind of a democratized way. And so the platform kind of lets people peer into the management structure, and then of course allows, more so than a normal company, allows communication between the investors and the management, so that they can get that conversation going. Because what we found in doing our research before doing crowdfunding is that when investors are actually your biggest, your biggest help, because now you get to tap into the hive mind of your community. So when you see a guy, he goes into a restaurant and he sees that the service is sloppy, he's going to tell you about it. Why? Because that's his money. He's going to say, hey, this person, I saw this person stealing. Whereas a normal customer doesn't have a vested interest. They just say, well, this ain't gonna last long. And so it's kind of that that connecting the customer and the business together in a way that has never been possible without technology. That's what's so exciting about it for someone like me. I am a big nerd. If I had to learn how to public speak. If I could speak in ones and zeros, I would. And so, but I say that to say that technology allows new forms of communication that weren't possible, new forms of information gathering that weren't possible in the past. And that's what we're bringing to Arawak and to the listed companies that are part of it.
All right, we've got to take a break. When we come back, more with DRC Ramming Jr., and you can text us as well. Let's hear what you have to say. 422-4796, or even call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Let's do this now. We got a call now. Let's take the call, and then we'll take the break. How about that?
Okay.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, pleasant good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Palm and Mr. Rami.
Hi.
I hope you're doing well. Listen,
yes.
I saw that the SPDC is also launching a similar venture, right? They, I think they saying that they're now offering a similar service to what Mr. Rami is offering. I asked myself, well, why not partner with Mr. Rami instead of creating another, set of red tape and whatnot. And the other thing, the other day I also saw where I think it was Kirshner International who was offering something similar. Is that for the local market or for the international market? If Mr. Rami could speak to those for me.
Okay. Great questions there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That is a great question, and you are an astute news follower. So yes, there are other players entering the market. I will talk about Arawak X because that's polite in business circles to do so. We only talk about our what makes us different from the others. What I can say is that we are here and we are working actively in the community to add value. The others are coming, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay. All right. We've got more text messages. We'll get to those after the break. Let's take that break now, and we'll be back with DRC Ramming Jr. with Arawak X in just a bit. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Why you look so mashed up, like clothes at the washer?
No, but just a hard day. What?
Hard day? What happened? The breakfast lady ran out of tuna and Gretzi.
We need to start joking about everything, This serious, boy. This real serious, boy.
Boy, what's serious? Tell me.
All right, well, today, boss gave us, boy, one big contract. And nobody else get a chance and nobody say nothing.
Boy, you know that ain't right. You know government contracts ain't supposed to go that way.
Yeah, but nobody's saying nothing. Boss man just tell people to sign the papers. Then he send me to meet his boy downtown and collect this envelope.
You need to tell somebody. You need to become a whistleblower.
You know I's a real man, but I never blow no whistle. I be drunk all my life in Junkanoo.
No way. A whistleblower is someone who tells people what they see when they see something wrong happening at work.
But I ain't no whistleblower, and I ain't no snitch. I still white there, you know.
But ain't nobody can know it's you. All you gotta do is call Crime Stoppers, or you could text them from the Crack Crime Bahamas app. They don't ask about you, and your call goes straight through to Miami, so nobody know you is. And if you text, your message get mixed up like Kong Salad.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
You invest in your children, your home, and your community. But are you investing in your financial future? At CFAO, we specialize in investment management, retirement planning, mutual funds, and private wealth management. Our team of experts never stops helping you plan for tomorrow. Because tomorrow begins today. Call us at 502-7010 to see what our financial advisors can do for you. CFAO, growing wealth for future generations.
Boy, you know what going down tomorrow?
Nobody, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior in.
For what?
Boy, he fooled with Joe girl.
Mother sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I try and stay in school, not Simpson Penn. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Boy, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, how many boys coming for me next?
Alright, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how did I avoid?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the calls go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen. Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you're saying.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian, this government was nowhere to be seen.
Your aid is coming from the U.S. What are you giving the Bahamian government?
Nothing at all. Survivors questioned if help from the government would ever arrive.
As relief supplies are now finally arriving, volunteers complain about Bahamian government red tape.
At this point in time, we are on our own and we're trying to get our government officials, please come down here and show your faces.
When they were needed most, this government was nowhere to be found.
This has been a paid political announcement by the PLP.
Jamal, you just sitting there, drinking coconut water and smiling. Do you realize the children's school fees are due?
Yep.
And you know we gotta fix this roof, right?
Uh-huh.
And the house insurance is due again.
No problem.
No problem? How are we going to afford it all?
Honey, relax. I went to B.O.B. It's all taken care of.
Apply today for a B.O.B. consumer loan or switch and save on your mortgage with B.O.B. Your bank of solutions. Terms and conditions apply.
Brought to you by CFAO. Prime Minister Dr. Jimenez says if given another term in office, his administration would create a new Ministry of Investments, Financial Services, and Commerce to help boost dynamic growth and jobs that would serve as one of the leading drivers of economic recovery. The Prime Minister making the announcement during a Free National Movement drive-up rally to announce new Providence candidates ahead of the September 16th election. He says the new and enhanced ministry would help to expand the conditions for economic growth and trade and enhance and promote Bahamian ownership of the economy through entrepreneurship, innovation, and digitization. The portfolio, he says, the portfolio areas of the ministry will include investment, Invest Bahamas, financial services, trade, industry promotion, the ease of doing business, and digitization. the promotion of concessions and incentives for Bahamians and Family Island economic development. He says other areas will include the promotion of medium and small-sized businesses, the Small Business Development Center, the promotion of the blue, green, and orange economies, new industry promotion, diversification, and cooperatives. And as the country nears the day, Bahamians make the most important national decision in the country. The PLP is hoping their countrymen will buy into their tactical economic plan that will have to be executed in the midst of the worst days of the COVID-19 pandemic. At the top of the PLP's tactical plan is to review the country's current tax regime, something the current F&M government says it already has in the works. But the most palpable of the party's planned immediate changes is to lower the value-added tax rate from 12% to 10%. P has imparted this promise before and remains steadfast in its commitment to lowering this rate for 1 year, predicting that the action would create more disposable income and increase spending habits. In its second year in office, the current F&M administration raised VAT from 7.5% to 12%. The PLP's plan also calls for additional VAT relief, though it does not specify exactly what that would entail. You can read more about this in today's Guardian Business section. And the Central Bank of the Bahamas says it intends to use approximately $247.5 million from the International Monetary Fund's recent general allocation of special drawing rights to strengthen the country's foreign reserves. The IMF general SDR allocation, which became effective on August 23rd, was equivalent to about $650 billion and made available to all 190 of its member countries to address the long-term global need for reserves and to particularly help vulnerable countries struggling to cope with the impact of COVID-19. Bahamas was allocated $174.8 million in SDRs, which converts to about 247 million US and would attract about 0.05% interest rates, which is the weighted average of the short-term interest rates on government debt of the countries and regions eligible for SDRs. Overseas, the European Union planning to recommend that its member states reinstate restrictions on tourists from the U.S. because of rising coronavirus infection levels in the country. EU diplomats considering this today. A decision to remove the U.S. from the safe list of countries for non-essential travel would reverse advice from June when the 27-nation bloc recommended lifting restrictions on U.S. travelers before the summer season. The guidance could come as early as this week. These EU diplomats speaking to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity, as the review process is still ongoing. Any decision would be non-binding, though. The EU has no unified COVID-19 tourism policy, and national governments have the authority to decide whether they keep the borders open to U.S. tourists or not. And Universal Studios announcing today that its first theme park in China will open in the country's capital in September. The company said the opening date for September 20th, according to a statement and video posted on the Chinese social media site WeChat. Under construction since 2016, the theme park has received strong backing from Beijing authorities, including the extension of one of the city's main subway lines to the site. Along with rides, shows, restaurants, and exhibits, the resort features a pair of hotels. The project will complement Universal's other two Asian parks in Japan and Singapore. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX. From Friday, your market movers, AML Foods Limited moving 3,000 up 1 cent to 6.49. Commonwealth Bank moving 5,103 unchanged to 2.88. RF Bank and Trust moving 100, closing at 14.25 unchanged. Focall moving 8,480, down 10 cents to 3.60. Consolidated Water down 1 cent to 2.34. Emira Incorporated down 2 cents to 11.46. The BISX All Share Index closing at 2,058.36, down 4.40. Recapping the week, the local market ended the week with 76,913 shares crossing the exchange with 18 trades to accumulate a value of $285,100. The BISX All Share Index lost 26.23 points or 1.26%. Year to date, the index is down 33.99 points or 1.62%. The week's volume and value leader, Focall, moving 46,480 shares in 6 trades with a value of $177,320. That's your Market Watch. And that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune in tonight for CFAL Talks right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 at 6:30 p.m.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Cash with both hands and make a stash. New car, caviar, four-star, daydream, think about me, a football team.
And we are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Pamela Musgrove. We are talking with DRC Ramming Jr. with Arawak X, getting an update on where things stand 1 week after it went live with the initial 2 companies with their crowdfunding initiative. Getting a lot of great questions here on our text line. You can text us as well, 422-4796, or call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can tweet us and Facebook us as well. All right, so you mentioned this earlier, DRC, about the backlog. Somebody's asking how long will it take them to get out of the KYC portion of this. How long do you think it'll take you to address the backlog you have?
So we're trying to make it under less than, right now we're above 48 hours. So we're trying to make it less than 48 hours. And then at some point, I'm a technologist, so I already have, we're implementing a solution that will hopefully bring it down to less than an hour, but that takes time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Similar question. Someone says, I've been trying to figure out, do I have to fill out the KYC form every time I invest? Because I've invested twice and I'm still getting emails to upload files, even though I've already done so in the beginning.
Great question. There was a bug in the system that sent those emails out twice. We fixed that. So no. Short answer is no, you don't. Once you go through the KYC process one time, you won't have to go through it again. Except when your IDs and stuff expire, we'll notify you to upload your current documents.
Okay. All right. This person says
these are great questions.
Yeah. This person says there's been insufficient info on the companies. Example, the Red Lobster people, they're only offering 20% of the company, even though we are being asked to fund 100%. The capitalization, similar defects with the other company. But people must do their own calculations where this should be said. How do you respond?
See, that's philosophy of investing where they come in and they take the majority of the company. The problem I have with that philosophy of investing is there's no future growth. The guy gets comfortable and then the founder just says, whatever. There's no point in doing that. So what they've done in Silicon Valley is they take small slices with the promise that the guy is going to try and grow 10 times. And so the founder always has to be incentivized to grow your money. And his incentives have to, and so if you structure it improperly, you get one set of growth and then they stop growing because they stop checking. They go to spend that money and because there's no incentive for them anymore. And so I would say to that person, yes, you are correct one time, but the world has moved on from that form of investing. And when you do that, it's to the detriment of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So you want this guy to be thinking about not just this round of growth, the next round. And, and yes, I understand you want to take as much equity as possible. I get that from an investing point of view, but you don't want to do that to the point where you're going to then have to go and run the business, because that's the whole purpose of the team. Mm-hmm. It's either you believe in this team to grow it or you don't. And so that's what I would say to that person.
Well,
so he's correct, just a different philosophy.
All right.
That's all.
All right, we've got another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Okay.
Hi, good morning.
Yes. I don't know much about crowdfunding, right? I know about IPOs on Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
Do it go up in value, like down in value? Is it volatile? And also, is it guaranteed?
Is it sorry, say that one more time?
Do it go up? Do the price of your stock go up? Do it stay the same? Is it like an IPO then?
So yes. So in many ways, it is similar to an IPO.
Take Bahamas stock with $1 when it was $1. It went to 18 before it split. Like, what is the risk value then? Is this risky, or you are at risk because you're on Wall Street like that, or is this money guaranteed?
So there's no such thing as a guarantee ever in business.
So this is volatile stuff we're dealing with. You could lose.
No, so it is not volatile. So volatile would be no rules. There would be no rules, nothing to govern anything. That's kind of when you do pure private equity. You have to be super savvy to invest in that, because that's it. You're more chances than not you're going to lose your money. This is a middle ground between super safe and secure, and super volatile. Risk is not either or. It's a spectrum, so we're in the middle.
It's the same. It's like guarantee money. It's not like FDIC. You get the money back if the bank closes.
No, so that's not this type of investment. And notice those type of investments. Once upon a time, banks paid 5, 3. Now they're down to 0.1%.
What is your rate of? So what is your rate you would get back? What is the percentage?
You're thinking of it, if I may, sir. You're thinking of it like a bank loan, where they guarantee a certain.
Let him answer, caller. He's answering your questions. Let him answer your questions. Mm-hmm.
You're thinking of it like a bank loan where there's a guaranteed risk, where there's a guaranteed return, or a structured product where a financial institution guarantees a certain return, maybe like an annuity. This is ownership of the company. So as the company grows, you grow in proportion, in the same proportion, in fact.
And
so
you can sell your stock. You can sell it without any penalty anytime.
So right now, the answer to your question is no. In the future, and when I say the future, after we have enough companies, we're going to be starting what's called a secondary market, where you will then be able to sell your shares. The problem with just putting 2 companies, 10 companies, is you don't get enough liquidity, and you won't find buyers. So oftentimes you'll sit there and you'll have a sell order out for a long period of time. So at some point, yes, we have a strategy to solve that problem.
So how long is investor fund locked in? Like, how long is it locked into these investments?
So in the meantime, we advise people that these are more than a year's worth of investment. Now, that being said, we have a bunch of companies coming on stream. Once we have enough companies on the market, we will start the secondary market. There's no sense spinning up that kind of level of technology for 1 or 2 companies. You can do that.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, I think investors would know, like, okay, this is locked in for 3 years. Like, you go in this investment and you cannot exit it for the next 3 years.
So you will be able to exit within a year.
Within a year, okay.
Yeah, but it is not short. This is not for a short-term trader at this point. Now, like I say, we have hundreds of companies looking to onboard. When we are at that point, then maybe you can say, hey, I could buy this and then sell this in a week's time or whatever. But that'll be up to you and your risk profile. So to answer the guy on the phone again about risk profile, you have to decide for yourself whether or not these investments make sense to you at this point in your life. Speak to your financial advisor. All we are is a structure that allows companies to come to the market.
And I don't remember if you answered the question, but it was about the other companies. You said there are quite a few coming on, but when can you say the next group of companies will be coming on stream?
So we'll probably have 2 more within a month. We want to do 2 for a month. But we're working on our processes. We're getting more efficient every day. So I would eventually like to see 5 a month, maybe even 10 a month. I'm going to see how good I am. But we have a stellar team, and we're getting our processes together. We're really excited. People, obviously you have to get the first couple out first, and then improve over time. And so we're looking at it. We have a lot of eyes looking at the processes and the companies. I think the market was surprised at the quality of the companies. And there was more to come. There's a lot of great Bahamians out there with great ideas, and there's actually a lot of foreigners that are trying to list here as well, because they want to move here and take advantage of our wonderful society and system. And people will be able to participate in those companies as well.
I might have asked you this before, but are there any companies for which this just isn't the right option? That they do better going the IPO route?
Okay, so IPOs are generally much larger raises, 20 mil plus, because otherwise it just doesn't make sense. You have to, they're quite expensive to get in. There's a high barrier to entry, and at that point, the companies have to be operational for several years, which is hard because there's this whole big gap in the middle between how do you go from startup with great idea or ongoing concern with great idea, being able to do regular reporting and all of the things that are necessary. There's a huge amount of regulatory reporting work that is required to be a publicly listed company. In fact, it's very expensive year after year just to keep up with the reporting requirements. What crowdfunding and platforms like ArrowAgX does for the company is we fit that middle ground too. So, like I say, not so much wild west, but not so structured and rigid as the public markets. And so we're in that middle space.
All right, so we're running out of time here. So for people who've been paying attention to this, but have been sitting on the sidelines, are like, oh boy, they're still on the fence about this. Mm-hmm. What would you say to that potential investor right now? What would you say to them to get them to?
I would say that I would tell you that it is free to sign up. How we make our money is when a company is successful in its raise, we get a percentage of the company pays us, not the investor. And so it's, there's very little barrier to entry. We've made it so. And so try stuff out. There's lots of different types of companies that are onboarding. If you don't like these two companies, you can onboard, get through the process. And then when a company that you do like comes along, a company that you do understand comes along, you'll be able to participate in that. And so, we understand we're in this for the long haul. We understand it's going to take time for market to understand. Obviously, people are, it's new and it's technological, and it takes time for people to understand both. But when people understand what we're doing and understand how easy we're trying to make it, I believe that they will respond by participating. And so that's kind of our value prop. And so that's ArrowAgX. Sign up.
All right. Give us that website again and how they can get more information about the company.
ArrowAgX.com. All of the website information is there. We are tinkering with things because as we get feedback from these wonderful people, we make adjustments. We make sure to read and try and respond to every single Facebook, Instagram message. People come stop us. If you stop me in the street or in the bar after Friday, I will listen and I will make sure that your needs are being met. I wake up every day thinking about how we can make this process simpler for the ArrowAgX community.
Wonderful stuff. DRC Ramming Jr., thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for talking with us again this morning.
Thank you for having me on the show.
All right.
Thank you.
Pam, we're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Keep your hands off of mine. Don't give me that
Technologies make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Growing up over the hill, Dr. Minnis learned the importance of education. That's why the FNM is delivering on its commitment to expand education access, improve academic opportunities, and push to make the University of the Bahamas tuition-free. And it's why the FNM is repairing and building schools in every corner of the Bahamas, paving the way to a brighter future. The FNM is making a difference for the next generation of Bahamians. September 16th, vote FNM, because it's about your future.
This has been a paid political announcement from the Free National Movement.